Today we're answering your hot takes, your predictions for WWE. The first one comes in from Real Angel Tube, says Liv Morgan will keep her women's title after WrestleMania, at least until the next pay-per-view after WrestleMania 41. She'd never had a big title match at WrestleMania, and I think she could hold it till after 41. I kind of feel like when it comes to Liv, I think that she is going to hold on to the belt. I think that she's going to retain at SummerSlam, and I don't think that they're going to give us that match again until WrestleMania. Like, I think they need to keep Liv strong. Keep her having title defenses as well. Mix in some other people too in the women's division, not just Rhea. You can't just do Rhea and Liv for like the next 6 months, although Triple H likes his long-term booking, but you got to be able to spice it up a little bit. You could have a rematch at Bad Blood. You could have one of them injured on TV and take them off TV. The other thing is that neither Liv or Rhea, they wrestle all that much on TV. So they just kind of do the PLEs now, which seems to be the biggest thing for WWE, is that like champions, top stars, they don't wrestle very often. I can see them doing the final match at WrestleMania. Rhea wins the Royal Rumble, and then that gets her final match against Liv and finally takes down Liv. Because it's all about the Judgment Day, ladies and gentlemen. No More Hero says, how would you book LA Knight's US title run? Yeah. I think LA Knight is winning against Logan Paul. I think that if I was going to book LA Knight's title run, he needs like a really big heel. Somebody that he can really sink his teeth into, that is good on the mic, that he could go against for like 3 months. LA Knight does wrestle very frequently on TV. I worry they will do Santos Escobar as his first kind of feud and opponent. Like, if I look at the SmackDown roster today, AJ Styles has been off TV for a while right now. I think you could redo AJ versus LA Knight for the US title now. You could rekindle that feud if you wanted to do it for a while. Maybe even trade the title off of each other. Andrade is great if he's positioned as a heel. Andrade, though, he's your speed champion. I don't know if they would do that, but promos between Andrade and LA Knight could be a lot of fun. And then my only other thought right now is Jacob Fatu. You've had LA Knight mix it up with the Bloodline before. I think, and I know that they've got him going off for the tag titles, but even down the road, down the line with all this Bloodline stuff, at some point you could put a bigger title on Jacob Fatu. Him versus LA Knight be pretty cool. Kind of like LA Knight has to overcome the odds or he loses to Jacob Fatu. It's funny though, as I look at the SmackDown roster, for individuals, I mean, Carmelo Hayes is in there. I can see LA Knight and Carmelo going at it. But I'm like, there's no like big definitive big bad heel on the rise that they could use to go up against LA Knight. It's kind of slim pickings, I've got to be honest. Javi Davi says, fantasy take, Joe Hendry wins the Royal Rumble. I believe in Joe Hendry. I think Joe Hendry is doing some phenomenal stuff when it comes to NXT. This whole crossover with TNA is really, really good for everybody, especially the talent. And Joe Hendry is like just kind of getting up there where he's getting more and more recognition. He's getting noticed more and more. I think that he will probably enter the Royal Rumble. I don't see him winning the Rumble, but I believe in Joe Hendry. Salty Rice Cake says, if War Games is the Bloodline versus Team Cody, how shocking would it be if Roman was the 5th member for Cody's team? They probably could do that like they did with Randy coming back, where Randy was confirmed, but they were like teasing it for weeks. If you remember, they wouldn't solidify it until it was right before, and then everybody knew it was Randy coming back. We are probably going to get Roman at SummerSlam, but he ain't wrestling for a while. And he ain't going to go at Bash in Berlin. I think you are going to kind of wait for War Games for Roman's big moment to have like a match. And they'll build it up and build it up, build it up, where Roman maybe will do a couple of saves. That one-on-one match or moment for Roman is a big deal. And especially going face-to-face with Bloodline, Solo, and everything. And I think they got to take a very long road to this. So I could totally see it being Cody, Roman, Jimmy and Jay, and then Sammy as the 5 that are going to go up against the Bloodline. And is that probably going to have some combination? Maybe. But I do think that Roman will be kind of that extra member. And then you get the giant pop. Roman comes out last in War Games. Cody goes out first. And then off you go. TZ says, hot take, Dominic Mysterio should not betray Rhea at SummerSlam, but Finn and JD betray the whole group. Finn Balor helps Liv retain the title. And when Damian retains his title against Gunther, Finn and JD attack him. Dom will remain with Priest and Rhea, but not for long. Kind of see the same thing. I started thinking more and more about like what's going to happen with Judgment Day, because you have Damian Priest in his match, and you kind of feel like Judgment Day is going to get involved there, and I feel like they're going to screw him over some way. Then you also have Rhea's match. The two of them have like been positioned as kind of the outside of the whole team. I don't know if we are going to get the Dominic Mysterio turn. At first I thought totally like it's all a swerve and you're going to end up having Dom turn on Rhea and Liv retains, and that's how they're going to do it. I can kind of see them doing it almost by mistake, like they've done every single time now with Dom, where he slides in a chair, he slides it in the middle. So it's kind of nebulous where they don't really know for sure which side he is on, but they kind of imply it a little bit. So SummerSlam might be more of a tease of a breakup between Rhea and Dom. However, JD and Finn, I totally think they need to make a move. I think you've just been seeing the seeds planted for so long. It needs to finally happen where it's going to be JD and Finn that do some kind of screw over of either Priest or Rhea, leaving Dom in like the really awful middle position where he doesn't know what to do, and it furthers the story. But I think the split, some kind of split needs to happen at SummerSlam. D'Angelo Harrington says, will the final boss, right there, arrive and acknowledge Solo? He will not acknowledge Solo. He barely acknowledged Roman Reigns. I kind of wish, honestly, that we weren't going to get Roman at SummerSlam because it's what everyone anticipates. I wish we were going to get Final Boss to set up Cody Final Boss at WrestleMania. I don't know what they're going to do, and that's kind of the exciting thing here. I don't think that Rock shows up. Ultimately, I do think it is going to be Roman Reigns, and that's the story they go with. But Rock is probably going to show up at some point. Like, he could show up at the end of Survivor Series, and he could, or the Royal Rumble, and screw over Roman. So we could have the big comeback return babyface of Roman Reigns, doing all of that, where everyone kind of forgets about The Rock for a very long time, and then you have him come back and rock bottom, and he takes out Roman Reigns, and then there's their WrestleMania match. Could be that. I do miss The Rock though. Final Boss is really awesome. Death Mauler says Damian, Punk, and Solo should win at SummerSlam. Damian is an interesting one because I think he's done better and better work, and all of his title matches have been very strong, and they've been like really good. It's Gunther though. Like they might be doing Gunther versus Ilya at Bash in Berlin. I was gonna say Gold Rush, but Bash in Berlin. I don't know if I see Priest holding on to the belt any longer, because I think the bigger story for him is what goes on with Judgment Day and like him losing the belt. I just don't know if he could get back into title contention on the world title side. I don't know. So I don't know if they're going to just kind of keep the belt on him, some kind of DQ finish with Gunther, because Gunther ain't losing clean. So if they're going to have Gunther lose, it's got to be like Judgment Day gets all involved, something like that, costs the match, and you get a wonk finish, then setting up Bash at Berlin for maybe the rematch, and then you have Gunther take it there. So I can see Damian Priest winning and retaining. For Punk and Solo, Punk's interesting because I feel like Drew McIntyre kind of needs the win. I'm a CM Punk fan. I as a fan in general, I'd be like, yeah, I want to see the good guy win. Like I want to see CM Punk win. But there's so many elements to that story of Punk and Seth and Drew. What's Seth's role really going to be? How is that finish going to be is the biggest thing for me. How are they going to do it? And how is that going to extend this entire feud for all three of them? I do kind of feel like Drew needs to get the win there. With Solo is interesting because on paper, no chance. Cody's winning and retaining, and that is very much what's going to happen in my eyes. But part of me does feel like in storyline, Solo should win because he is announced as tribal chief. And if the rest of the bloodline gets the tag titles and they want all the gold, Solo's whole thing has been, I'm tribal chief and I need to get the title back. I need to get the title back for the bloodline and for the family. Well, if he doesn't do that at SummerSlam, then he has failed as the leader. So then he should not be leader. Like that's the whole thing of Solo right now is I should get the title back and bring it back to our family. And if he can't do it, he fails. So then why would the rest of the bloodline side with him? Why wouldn't Jacob Fatu stand up and be like, all right, I'm going to go get the title? Or The Rock comes in and says, I'm going to get the title because you can't do it. There's a lot of layers there. So like on paper, Solo should win. All the odds stacked against Cody with the bloodline. He has no help. That's what the story shows. Clearly we know that Cody is going to get the crossroads in and Solo's going to lose, but I could see the argument of why Solo should win. And we'll end on this one. Typical Teenager says, how long have you been watching WWE for? I think Drew should win at SummerSlam. See, I think Drew should win as well. I've watched WWE since I was a kid, since I was like, I don't even know, 6 or 8 years old or something like that. As early as I can remember, and like watching like Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, Sergeant Slaughter, guys like that. I got the wrestling buddies and stuff. So I've watched it as the earliest days that I can remember, and really like went deep into it with WWF and WCW in the 90s with the Monday Night Wars, even just being very young, still tuning in and seeing that, and like just seeing like Austin on TV and just being like, I don't know, gravitating towards that, and just being enthralled with like what the world is, like what is all of this. For whatever reason, it just clicked with me, where I'm just like, this is the entertainment that I enjoy. I've watched it since I was little and I've never stopped. But if you guys want to talk more about SummerSlam, this video right here, that's our full predictions. I almost did like a NWO thing. These are full predictions video. Thank you everybody for submitting your questions. Have a great day. See ya.